Hello, CC of Middleburg Tutors. Today we're going to be going over your tutorial for Fine Arts Week 16. This is going to be located in your book on page 22. And I'm not going to say this right, but we are working on Durer. Probably butchered that. The project this time is wood block print. We are going to be doing a print, but we're going to be doing it on foam instead of a wood block. The whole idea behind this one is just to replicate the idea of printmaking, and so that's what we're going to be doing, just with the foam pieces instead of the wood block. So, as always, make sure that you read through the whole page here, especially on his background information, so that you guys can kind of give the history lesson behind that for this artist. And I'm going to do the tutorial for y'all on how we're going to proceed with this in class. So we're going to be doing printmaking with foam pieces. So this is my foam piece of a print that I made earlier today. I just drew a flower on it. And we're going to be following the same basic instructions as we would for the wood block, just with the foam instead. So what I did is I took a piece of regular foam that you can get at like Dollar Tree or Walmart. I cut it in half to make it smaller, which I will probably advise you guys to do for the kids, so that way they can even make a couple of them if they have time. And the way that we're going to make a design on the foam is just starting with a pencil, and then if we need to do any more, we can add a toothpick also in order to really get in there. This is the first print that I did. One of the things that the instructions tells you is to try to be really careful to not get the paint or the ink into the lines that you made, and you can see at the bottom of mine that I did actually get a little bit too much paint in there because it didn't show up very well. But otherwise, I have a pretty good print that I made, like my own little stamp. So we're going to try to do that again. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do a flower because it's really easy. So I'm just going to use a pencil on my foam, and I would basically just draw it out really easily, not pressing too hard at first, just so I can get the basic design that I want to get. And then once I have the whole thing drawn out on the foam, then I can go back through several times and press down even more to get a really good indentation. So this is my first little drawing of the new flower. And now I'm going to go over it again and really press down really good on that foam. I don't want to rip it, and I don't know how much pressure it would take in order for that to happen. But I am trying to press down really good in order to get a nice indentation on the foam. So I'm basically just going over each line that I made, probably like 2 or 3 times, back and forth around it. So I'm going to finish doing that real quick. And then once that is all done, we are just going to very lightly paint over it using our sponge brush and some tempera paint. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I've got my newspaper down. I've got my little print here that I have made a really nice indentation on. And I have just plain black tempera paint in the cup with a sponge brush. So again, I want to do this really lightly to start off with, because it'll help me to stay out of those crevices and just try to keep it on the surface. You guys may have to help the kids with this. Hopefully they can do as much of it on their own as possible, but especially the littles will probably need some extra help. So I'm just starting at a corner where I don't have anything drawn on it and just going over it very lightly. Hopefully not letting any paint get in the cracks. If you have too much paint on your brush, then it is going to, seep into those cracks. So we want to try to do it as lightly as possible, and I'm just trying to like hold the edge while I'm doing that. Okay, so now I have a very light layer of paint or ink, whatever is available, but we're using paint. And then I have my cardstock paper. So I'm just going to lay this down on the paper. And then we can take either another piece of paper or a paper towel to like cover over it, and we just want to press. And we want to like smooth it out so that hopefully our design will show through and all of that paint will transfer onto our paper for us. So this is another reason why I'm hoping that the kids will maybe have time to do 2 different designs if we take the foam and cut it in half, because they'll have room on their paper to do more than one picture, and they probably would enjoy having something side by side. So once I've got it all pressed down, I will just start with an edge and pull it back, get it out of the way, and I am left with a print that I made. So this is the one right here that I just did. The one over on this side is the one that I previously did. So this one came out a little bit better because I didn't get as much paint into the little crevices that I made with my pencil. So that was pretty nice. So again, we'll probably give the kids a little half sheet of cardstock like this. They can put their name on it, write the week that it is, and then they will have room to do 2 different prints side by side or 2 of the same one, whatever they decide to do. You guys might have to give them some inspiration as far as what they could possibly draw on their foam. Probably not going to want to do anything too detailed because that's going to leave a lot of places for the paint to seep into. We want something pretty simple on here, just to give them the idea of how to do printmaking. So that is everything for Fine Arts Week 16. Thanks.